We have, there will be 3 numbers that are being called. A 1, which is a crossover, 2, which is between the legs, 3, which is behind the back. So what this drill is going to do is it's going to help you work on your reaction, because you always have to be reacting in basketball. In real games, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know which move we're going to have to utilize to get past our defender. So what we're going to do here is we're going to stand with our back facing our partner. He's going to say turn. As soon as we turn, he's then going to pass the ball and yell a number while the ball is in the air. The next component of the drill that we're going to add in is a scoring aspect to the drill. So just how we had 3 numbers, we're going to have 3 different scoring finishes. We have regular finish, which is just a layup. We have pull, which is right off the move. You're getting straight into your shot, no hesitation. And then we have hezi, where you're getting into the hesitation after you do the move. And then you're going to kind of run through the same exact circuit that you just went through before you started doing the scoring moves. So first we're going to just start basic, 1 move, 1 finish. So it'll be either a 1 finish, a 1 pull, or a 1 hezi. Then we'll move to 2, then 3. All right, so those are the 3 numbers you have. Keep in mind, your partner, he doesn't go in order. As soon as he passes, he could call 2 finish, 2 pull, 2 hezi. So you have to listen to your partner again, and you have to figure out which move you're going to do.
The crossover is used to change directions. So if you're going hard one direction and your man tries to bite, you cross that way. It could be used to set up a defender, cross. Crossover is really important just because it's a basic move. It doesn't take a lot of time to do. It's great for creating space and getting you to be able to beat your man, getting your man off balance. So the crossover is extremely, extremely important. Now, one way to work on the crossover is just basically doing, this is how you can work on a lot of these moves I'm going to go over. It's basically stationary though. And the thing about all these moves to make them more potent is actually setting them up. So the crossover, you have to beat your man a few times in a direction and then hit them with different crossovers, but also you got to make it look like you're going that way. You want to stay low on all your moves, and you want to make it, like I said, make it look like you're attacking hard. So if I'm not just going to do a cross like this or like this, if I'm doing my cross, I want it to make it look like I'm going that way, and then I'm pulling the ball hard. So everything is hard. Keep the ball tight. The harder you pound the ball, the quicker it gets from point A to point B. Footwork is extremely important as well, and that's the start of it all. So you want to step, like I said, make it look like you're going that direction, and then cross, even if it's that type of cross. So just practice different crossovers you could use. And then one way to work on that is exactly what I was just doing. Just kind of doing a stationary cross, but working on different crossovers you can do to create that space, going with it. Just get that motion down of the entire body that you need. So like you start with your feet, go this way, kind of the hesitation, moves, and use those different hesitations just stationary, just to get it. So when you step in the game, it's just like second nature. You're just doing crossovers whenever you want to. Second move we're going to get into is the step back. Now, step back is probably one of the most effective scoring moves that you can do. Is anytime you got your man basically stepping back. But a lot of players think the step back can only come off a shot. You can use a step back way out here to create space just so you can set up your offense. So if I'm going hard, you can step back just to create that space so you can run your offense and keep the defender off you. So the step back, again, it's about setting it up, and it's about attacking, using that foot, and then pushing back. So you got to make it look like you're going that way, and then you're stepping back. Also works great, as you know, off of shots. So even out like the triple threat, you can attack, step back. Same thing going this way, could step back. So step back is extremely important to move. Third move we're going to get into is the spin move. Now, the spin move is one of those moves that is really easy, it's really basic. It might not be the most sexy move, so a lot of people kind of forget about it, but it's one of the most effective. And there's a lot of different instances to use it. One of my favorites is, of course, when you're penetrating. the lane, and you just spin, and you get in for a layup. That's one of my favorites. Even up here, another good way to use it is because when you're going this way, your man's trying to stop you, and you could quickly turn and get into a quick jump shot. So the spin move is a great scoring move, but it's also a great move when you're facing full court pressure, just to keep yourself between the ball and the defender. The spin move is a great way to help you protect the basketball. So spin move is all about footwork. All these moves are all about footwork. Spin move's no different. So you attack, and then you're basically using this foot to stop, and then you're going the other direction. So using that outside foot, stop, use the other direction. One thing I love to do also is stick that arm out. Now we're not hooking our man, because that's going to be a foul on you if you come and you hook him. But if you just stick your arm out, you can really keep that space. You could stop your man from getting around you, and you could get in the lane and use this off arm as kind of a protection. Now, like I said, don't hook him, but as long as I'm not hooking him and I'm just using it straight to kind of shield the man off, it's a great thing to do, a great way to keep yourself in between the defender and the ball to protect the basketball. So that's a spin move. Now let's get into the next move. Fourth move, pull back. Now there's a few different ways to do this, the pull back, but I've talked about this before. The pull back is one of the best moves to do to actually drop defenders, break ankles, and make them fall. A reason for this is because it means you're going hard in one direction, and they're going hard too, and then you're pulling back. So one thing you can do is give a little shove with your arm. You might get called for offensive foul. You may not. A lot of times you're not going to get called for it, because if you're both going fast and you give that little shove, it's hard to tell that you even gave the shove. So the pullback you can do, you could do a pullback crossover, pullback between the legs, or pullback behind the back. My two favorites really are between the legs or behind the back, just because I don't like having the ball too much in front of my defender. So I like to keep it between the legs or behind the back. But all the pullback is you're going hard one direction and then you're stopping. So pullback, very simple move. And all these moves are simple, and that's what makes them effective. North to south, simple. Create that space. The in and out. So the in and out, it's about, you want to step. It's all about the footwork. So you got to make it look like you're going this way, then you're bringing the ball back. So guys like Chris Paul has mastered, this is one of his go-to moves when you're attacking and he's doing the in and out. So you want to sell it. Now, you don't always have to bring it all the way over here. You can keep it quick and tight like that. But the whole point of the in and out is to fake your man going a certain direction. So you could set this up by doing crossovers, and then you hit him with an in and out. But remember, it's all about that footwork. That's what's going to make your defender think that you're going that way. So you're stepping that way, like I'm going that way, then you're in and out, going the other direction. So it works similar to how a crossover works, where you're changing directions quick. You want to stay low with it. Make that in and out quick. You don't want to go too slow with it. You want to be super quick with it. Make that noise with your feet. That noise is going to kind of shift the defender. It just works. The noise is going to make him, and then you go that way, and then you go the other direction with the in and out, and you're gone. So in and out, the fifth and final move, great move to add. All right, now of course, to finish this all up, we have combos that you can do. And that's what's great about all these moves, is that you can put them in combos. So I'm not going to break down every combo you can do because it's endless. But just to give you an example, you can do things like an in and out, crossover, go into a pullback into your shot. You can do things like a spin move, pullback into a crossover. So mix it up. Practice doing all these different types of moves. This can really prevent you from getting playing time on the court. If you can't handle that type of pressure, coaches just can't put you in the game. And this is something that I kind of struggled with when I was younger, until I finally learned the basics to beating it. The main thing that players have to remember with this is you don't have to do anything fancy. I see it all the time. Players come down court, they're trying to do crossovers and all that, they get ripped. Next time they come down court, Again, they're trying to do crossovers, dribble through double teams. They get ripped again. They turn the ball over. And guess what that's going to lead to? Coach going to put your butt right back on the bench. This is for full court. Then I'll address half court. In full court situations, if Coach Josh is guarding me, what I'm not going to do is come here and try to do all that. I'm not doing that. That's too much work. Way too much work. What I'm trying to do here is use my angles. I have the whole court to work with. Now let's say Coach Josh is playing close on me, really close. Again, I'm not playing with him. I'm not going here and all that. That's too much work. I'm just going to go one move and then stop. Kind of get my bearings back. Simple. If it's a press, a trap, you can't do this. You're going to have to pass to your teammates. But if it's just one-on-one, again, I have the whole court. I can kind of play, stop, go, a lot of different things I can do. Now, one of the reasons you want to use the court, you want to kind of work your defender, is because if you let him get comfortable, it'll give him the ability to lash out at you, to steal. So let's say, Coach Josh, if I'm not moving a lot, then he's right here. That's trouble for me. All right, I'm letting him dictate what I do rather than me dictating what he does. So again, if he's somebody that you can't beat, and that's what I've been kind of doing, showing you, because you're not just going to beat him and get a layup, because there's other defense. That's why when you see me going against Coach Josh, I'm not just trying to blow by him. I'm stopping, letting everything set up, going again, changing speeds, changing directions. There's a big reason why I'm doing that. It's because even if I beat him, there's going to be defenders down there. Now, let's say I get by Coach Josh real quick. Let's say I get by him here this early. I catch him off guard. Coach Josh is a great defender. He's super quick. But let's say I just catch him off guard. Now, the next thing I'm doing, he's going to be trying to trail me. I'm going to try to hold him on my back as long as possible. So one tip I will give you is kind of build a rhythm while you're dribbling. My favorite thing to do this here is take a step, 1, 1, 2. So it's kind of like a little gallop, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, just like that. Very subtle. You don't have to be like this, doing some crazy skip to my loose stuff, but you just keep it. And that'll allow you to kind of get momentum, and you'll be dictating your defender. If I'm going to the left side, it's my right foot, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Now I can attack. Another thing, if your defender is putting a lot of pressure on you, the best move I can give you here to avoid pressure, again, I'm not always going to be able to beat my man and get to the rim because he's going to have help. The best move you can do here is the retreat dribble. So what we want to do here, you can take 2 dribbles like that. Now if he closes out quickly, I can go between the legs, kind of like in the last video. We went over the between the legs move. This is when it works really effectively. You can do that, but a lot of times it's just to get that quick space, swing the ball to your open teammate. But again, if I don't want him to take the ball, I can't always just beat him because he's going to have help defense. So we've got to learn how to maintain our dribble, keep your dribble alive, don't pick it up, because then I pick it up, he's all in my face, I'm dead. I'm dead. So next move we're going to get into, I call this the drop cross. This works best in transition, but it also works in kind of a half court. But what you're going to do is you're dropping the ball, and it's kind of like a dribble jab where you're dropping it. I'm jabbing that way, but going that way. And what this does is it makes the defender react. So if I'm going and the defender here is going to react to my step. So I'm dropping, he's going to react that way, and I'm going to go this way. I'm going to get in the lane, hit a layup, hit a pull-up shot. You know, once you get in there, that's on you. Figure out what you have to do. All right, so the first thing I'm going to talk about, I'm just going to start how shooting starts off. It starts from the base and works its way up. So when you're a shooter or you want to become a better shooter, first thing you have to do is make sure you have a good base. Now, when you have a good base, that means a base that you have good balance. Now, your base, you need to have it. My base is kind of, you know, my feet are kind of close together, but some shooters like their feet shoulder width apart. Some might like their feet even more wide, and that's just so they could get better balance. So the first thing you need is balance. That's the first key in shooting, balance. Now the second, knees and hips. Now you want to get your knees and hips involved into your shot so that you can get a good shot off. Now, what I found has been very key is whenever I catch the ball and whenever I train players, whenever you're low going into your shot, it always feels a lot smoother than catching it and going through all these different motions. So that's one way to, get a quicker release, but also just have a smoother shot, is engaging your hips and your knees kind of before you catch the ball. So don't catch, bend down. When you catch the ball, already be down. So this is already going to make your release quicker, but then it's also going to help you put more power in your shot. So if you're shooting out here or you're shooting here, you can get, the right amount of lift on your jump shot that you need. I'll go over the basics. You want to try to keep this arm, you don't want it flaring out. And sometimes you shoot from this side, it's going to flare out more. But, one key I like to do, I always like telling my players, come make a C, and you should try to make a C when you shoot. Now, where you put the ball is really on preference. Now, I like to kind of place the ball right here. So I guess you can see it's kind of right over my eye. So I'll bring it up right here. Now remember, your set point is not your release point. So just because I'm set pointing my shot right here doesn't mean I'm shooting it right here. I'm set pointing it, and then I'm still releasing up here. So with your release, another key is if you're like 12 or 13, if you're young, don't try to force your release up here. Like I don't even have my set point up here. I have my set point right here. If you watch some great shooters, they still, even in the NBA, they still have their set point right here. You don't have to always have a high set point if that's not what you're comfortable in. If you're comfortable shooting right here still, or setting your shot right here, do that. If that feels comfortable for you, don't force changing it too soon, because you need the strength. As you get older, you can work on moving it up, and as you get stronger, you can work on moving it up. But right here, just want to find a good set point that feels comfortable for you, whether it's in front of your face, to the right of your face. Find something that feels comfortable and stick with it. So that's the key with all these shooting tips, is stick with it. Now, from the set point, we go to the release. Like I said, you want to have a release that kind of goes, you don't want to like shoot straight. You want to kind of get a good arc on your shot. You always want your left hand, in my case, so this is like your offhand, they call it, or your guide hand, to come off. You want to be shooting a one-handed shot. So some players, I've seen some players, sometimes if you thumb the ball, it can put bad spin. So a lot of times when players don't have good rotation on their shot, is because they're having that thumb on a little too long, and it's making the ball spin. Now I know people say Kyrie shoots with his thumb, but if you watch when he shoots, he still has good rotation. So you don't want your thumb or your guide hand to sacrifice a shot that's going like that. You want to get that one hand and then release, and then your follow through, you want to hold it high. Try to get that elbow above your eye. Even if you're shooting from right here, you can still get that elbow, eyebrow level, and that's where you want it to be. Now that's your footwork. You want to be able to shoot off all different types of footwork, and what I mean by this is you want to be able to shoot off the left right, off the right left, off the hop. I've seen some trainers, they only teach the hop, or some trainers only teach the 1-2 step. You want to be able to master any type of shot, because in the game you're going to have different circumstances. You're going to have times when you catch it off the hop, times when you catch it off the 1-2. So master all of those. Master coming off of picks left, right. Master coming off of picks the hop, because it's just a lot of different situations. You're going to have to do different things. So if you practice them all, when it happens in the game, you'll be ready for any situation. So the first thing we're going to do, of course, set shooting. And you can have a rebounder on this or not. But if you're in the gym by yourself, that's fine. And we're just going to focus on, getting your form, knowing what your form is, and then just shooting close to the basket, trying to get arc, and then trying to just make the shot. So you want to maybe make like 10 in a row. The main focus here is form, though. Just want to keep it smooth, have good mechanics the whole time through. And then you can continue to move back, and see how far you can shoot with your regular shot. And this is how you find your range.
You want to jump and land and stick it just like that. I'm going to do it again on the other side. So I don't really want you to focus on doing this really fast just yet, but just exploding out of that jump, making sure you stick it, make sure that core is really stable so that all your muscles are working on that explosion. Those muscles are getting used to fast twitch and exploding out of that position. Just real explosion.
Perfect.
Stable. All right, so you're still focusing on stabilizing your legs. It's not gonna be a quick drill just yet. We're gonna progress into a more explosive, quick once you get it down. So you're gonna line up on the baseline. If you got a ladder or you got some chalk at home, you can draw a ladder. What you really wanna do is just focus on sticking. On this line, you want both legs to hit the line, and then the outside leg is gonna stick. So it's gonna be a quick 1, 2, stick, 1, 2, stick, 1, 2, stick. You can do it a little faster than that, but make sure you're focusing on sticking, stabilizing that ankle, keeping that ankle dorsiflex so that you get the feel of explosion in your ankle. It's gonna go a little quicker, and it's gonna be just like this. Just making sure you're getting quick feet, getting that body used to being explosive and quick, because in order to get faster, you gotta train fast. In order to get explosive, you gotta train explosive.
To real game situations. So remember, with that lunge and with that jab drill, what we're practicing is on your first step. The big mistake a lot of players do is they go like this. First off, you want to beat somebody, you got to get low and beat your man and extend. Because if I'm here, even if I go here, Josh can easily rotate to stop me. Now, if I'm in the same thing and I'm here, just that one trick right there is gonna give you a perceived faster first step. Now that's one key. The next key is all that dorsiflexion and stabilization Coach Jay talked about. We're pushing off this back foot here with dorsiflexion and on the ball of our foot, and we're exploding through the ground. This is why one of my favorite moves is the scissors, because when I blow by them, look, I'm pushing here, boom, and I'm still getting low in that lunge position. So if I'm going to blow by Coach Josh here, I'm here. Or if I'm going here, I'm here, pushing off here, and going low, exploding. Basically, that lunge drill he went through, all those dorsiflexion drills is to continue to build that speed, that power, that force to blow by our defender. Playing him, you want to get in a good defensive position. I'm not going to talk too much about defensive position. I feel everybody knows a good defensive position. Feet kind of wide. You don't want to play like this. You won't be on balance. Get kind of wide. I like to have a hand mirror in the ball and a hand over here to block a pass to prevent if he tries to pass it or something, and always kind of have my hand mirror in the ball. Now, if Coach Josh attacks my front foot, all I'm doing here is kind of opening up and still trying to stay in front of him. That's key, because I see a lot of players, if they get beat, say he goes here, they try to go this way, it's over. Like, he's gone. So what we're doing here, anytime he attacks a side, I'm trying to stay open right here, trying to keep myself in between my man and the basket. Now, let's say if he does beat me, that's gonna happen. You're gonna get crossed, you're gonna get beat, that's okay. So let's say he beats me. Now, the one thing I'm not gonna do, I'm still gonna open up here, but a lot of mistake players make is, go Josh, they try to run like this, and they end up staying on the guy's hip. That's not what I'm trying to do here. What I'm trying to do, if Coach Josh beats me, I'm trying to sprint to the spot that he's going to and trying to get in front of him. I'm not running on his side. I'm sprinting to a spot, trying to beat him there so I can get back in a defensive position. Again, you can sprint and get some space. Okay, I'm good now. Now I can kind of get back up. You don't want to sprint to a space and then try to get on him quick, because he'll be able to get by you easy. All right, half-court defense is basically the same, kind of the same principles. We want to stay in between our man in the basket. If he goes either direction, we're opening up, trying to stay in between. If he beats you to a spot, you're running, at least in half court, you'll probably have more help, but still, you don't want to use too much help, because if you're constantly getting beat, that means your opponent, your teammates having to help, and you're leaving people open. So defense is big as a point guard, so really pay attention, because you can make a team, you might not have any offensive skills, but if you can lock down on D, there will be a spot for you on the team. So half-court D, what I like to teach, again, is forcing the offensive player to his weak hand, which most players, their weak hand is left. So I would force him this way. Now, like I said, some coaches want you to play straight up. If that's what they want you to do, then that's what you want to do, and that's what you're going to have to do. But you still got to use those same principles. If he goes this way, I'm kind of dropping, trying to keep myself in between the man and the ball, And if he goes that way, it's the same thing, same footwork, everything is exactly the same. And the next thing we're going to talk about, again, is kind of that opening, playing defense with the angles. You want to stay on that angle to keep your man in front of you. But again, when you're shifting, you're staying on the ball of your foot. We talked about this in the first step drill last week. And Coach Josh is going to show you some more defensive drills in a second that's going to help you develop this. But you want to stay on the ball of your feet. A lot of players get in trouble when they open up. They get on their heels, and this is how players either get crossed up and fall. You always see players when they fall, they're falling from their hips because they're not leaning, they're not on the balls of their feet. So what you want to do is when I'm shifting here, I'm staying on the balls of my feet so I can run. If I get on my flat foot, it's a lot harder to move, it's a lot harder to stay quick and stay in front of your man.
All right, so another key point when you're playing defense and being a great defender in the half court is closing out. You want to know about floor spacing, where the ball is on the floor, and how to properly close out in a strong athletic position to be there and defend the ball accurately and as best you can. So one of the main things is being aware that if you're one pass away, you're going to want to make sure your outside hand is out between the man and the ball. You always want to face like this. You don't want to be facing the ball because then you lose sight of your man. He's going for the backdoor cut. He's scoring. You always want to be right there between the man and the ball, hands out, and when you're going for the steal, if you decide to go for the steal, you want to try for the outside hand because even if you miss, you still can recover. You still got your eyes on the man, and you can still recover and get to the right angle to defend it.
All right, Coach Josh, now talk about kind of collapsing. Let's say my man passes me the ball, and you're kind of out of position, and you got to run to collapse on him.
All right, so another position that you want to be in is when the man gets the ball passed to him and you're running to collapse against him and close out. You're going to want to make sure you're chopping your feet, making sure they're nice and stable and strong, and you're in a good position. Because if you're not chopping your feet, you're not getting yourself balanced and ready to defend in a proper position. Because if you're not chopping your feet, you're just running out of control. He can take any angle he wants, middle of the floor, and break the whole defense down. So you want to make sure you run into it, chop your feet, make sure you're good and base and ready, keeping that outside foot here, and forcing them towards the baseline.
Yeah, and you're still focusing. So let's say Coach Josh does that. He closes it out on me, I attack, it's still the same thing. Dropping, getting in front of me, staying in between man and the basket. So chopping the feet is important on the closeout. And then now he's in great position. I go this way, he's there. I go this way, he's there. He doesn't need a lot of help. The defense doesn't break down. Last but not least, we'll talk about, before we get into some drills, are if the pass comes, the reason he's staying outside is, again, it's way easier to get that steal like that versus he's coming this way, because now say that it's a fake pass. So let's say it's a fake pass, ball doesn't come, now I'm back door. Now switch it up, Josh, do the right way. Now if he does the right way, say he doesn't get the ball, say it's a fake pass, and I go back door, he can still recover and he can still get back. He's in great position. He's not going to get beat.
All right, so we talked a little bit about defense. We gave you some strategies on how to be an effective defender. Now we have a drill here that's going to do two things for you. One is going to teach you to think quick on your feet because you never know which way your defender's going. So in this drill, you're going to have somebody pointing in a direction, and you're going to want to jump in that direction to think quick. So you'll get used to thinking quick and jumping in a specific direction to beat your man to the spot that he's trying to get to when you're defending him. And two, it's going to teach you to open up your hips and take those right angles so you can be in right position to continue to defend perfectly or as best you can. So in this drill, you're going to want to set up 3 cones or have 3 spots marked, and you'll be standing at the front cone. It's going to be kind of in a triangle. And what you're going to do is you'll have a man or someone in front of you who's pointing either left or right. You're going to want to keep moving your feet because it's going to be a decent conditioning drill as well. And whatever side they point to, you're going to open up to that side, touch the cone, and come back. It's going to look a little something like this. You're going to be moving your feet. They point to the side, you shift it, and you're back. Moving your feet, point to the right side, open your hips, and you're back. So you want to do that real quick. It's going to get those hips nice and open, get you used to taking the right angles when you're defending, and it's going to condition you well.
First move is the throw crossover. Like the name implies, you're gonna kind of throw the ball out. Just be careful that you don't carry the basketball when you do this move, but the idea is to push it out in front of you and then chase it down. This is a great move when you have some open court in front of you or an open space in the lane, and you could just blow by your defender and take your game next level. So this move, you might also know it as the Iverson crossover, but basically the idea behind it is that you're gonna step out with whichever hand has the basketball, that same side foot, lean into that fake, and then change directions. Now, you don't have to do this like Iverson does. Sometimes Kyrie Irving will do it with a running start. A lot of players have their own little variations on this move, but it's a deadly way to get past your defender and sell a good fake right before you change directions. The psych cross. This is a move James Harden's really popularized right now. Steve Nash used to do it a lot, but all you're going to do is cross over and step in the opposite direction with the opposite foot of the hand that's getting the ball from the crossover. You can mess around with the timing as well. Some players will do the step during the crossover, and some will do it slightly after. Each has a little bit different effect, but if you step more after the hand gets the basketball, you can lean into it a little bit more and get the defender to bite. Big tip I can give you for this is come right at your defender on this one and then throw that step in at the very last second. That'll throw their timing off, give them something unexpected, and they won't know which way you're gonna go. So the stiff leg is gonna be a little bit different. Whichever hand has the basketball, you're gonna step with the opposite foot in the direction of the hand that has the basketball. You wanna make that step low and quick. Try to keep the ball low and lean your chest into that fake. That's really gonna help send that defender flying. This move will put some butts on the floor. Great way to create space for a shot, or from there you can hesitate and go into a drive. Really, the options are up to you though, because your defender's probably gonna go flying at you right away. So the snatchback's kind of like the jut cross and the Iverson cross. Same footwork, you're just gonna step more forward and cross over more back. Kind of like a step back crossover. Really good move though, also to stop on a dime when you're attacking the basket hard, or you can do it just coming from one hard dribble forward, but this move is great for sending defenders flying and creating space. Next is the overcross. This is great for kind of pushing the ball over a defender's hand, or if you have a defender that's shorter than you and likes to play in that low space and wait for your crossover down low, this is a good way to get that crossover over their hands. This move is somewhat similar to the throw cross, but you want to keep the ball tighter to you for this one and direct it more straight down, and that'll leave you more open for different options with your footwork. You're not exposing the basketball or pushing it out as far away from you as in the throw cross. This can also be a great move to make a really quick stop on a dime and then change directions rapidly, while again not keeping the ball as exposed but also not putting the ball down low where maybe there's defenders waiting to steal it. This is a sneaky setup move Kyrie will do a lot. He'll come up the court, and the idea is to make it as unnoticeable as possible that you've switched hands, so that way your defender doesn't notice and it puts you in position to come to the other direction. I also like to use this as a setup move to kind of mess with my defender's head by basically pushing the ball straight down while I move my body across the basketball. I'm switching hands because I'm moving my body, but the basketball is literally coming straight up and down. That kind of makes your defender wonder, hey, should I follow the basketball or should I follow his body? 9 times out of 10 though, most defenders are going to follow your body, and then boom, you're in perfect position to quickly change directions and go past them. The sharp cross, nothing fancy about this, it's all about speed. You're moving quick in one direction, whichever hand has the basketball, the millisecond that same side foot touches the ground, boom, push the basketball across and quickly push off that foot to change directions. Great way to break ankles and just quickly go past your defender while you're on the move. Derrick Rose used to do this move a ton. The kill cross, there's 2 ways to do this one. You can be attacking with a regular dribble and then boom, kill it down low, cross it over quick. Great for high traffic situations or just a quick abrupt change of direction in a rhythm that your defender won't see coming. Kyrie Irving's got more than a few people with this. He's broke some ankles with it and created quite a few highlight reel plays. Then you can also do this more as a double cross. So basically crossing over to one hand and then meeting it really down low with the other hand and pushing it across the millisecond it touches that hand. Great way to get a nice quick fake and then come right back to the same direction as the hand that originally had the basketball. You'll break some ankles with that one if you do it on the move. The shot fake hezzy cross. No one gets anyone more with this than Steph Curry because he's got that deadly shot. Basically, you want to have a hesitation dribble where you're floating the basketball, bring your offhand close to the basketball and get your eyes to the rim. Also pay attention to your feet. You want to pause for a second with your feet and lift up your chest a little bit. That'll help sell that fake, get the defender jumping. That will make them look foolish. And if they try to recover from that, there's a good chance they'll fall. Sick move though. Great way to get past your defender and get buckets all day long.